If you like the X-Men and you want to play as a very deadly Soviet villain with a very interesting game plan, then Omega Red is the character for you in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Omega Red is very fast and flexible. He's strong at moving throughout the air and poking the enemy with mid to long range straight hits. His tentacle attacks can hit enemies from weird angles, which can be used to confuse and frustrate. Omega Red also excels at whittling away at the enemy's life bar from a distance or by throwing them around with his normals and specials. He can use his coil special moves to do some very tricky shenanigans, so if you don't mind high execution styles of play for pretty big rewards, Omega Red will be right up your alley. Some of Omega Red's pros are that he builds meter at a stupidly fast rate due to him being able to do a special move, retract it, and then do it again quickly, in addition to whiffing normals in neutral. He's also great in the air with a solid anti-air, strong coil grabs, and good priority on air normals. Omega Red also has a good dash and walk speed and a decent air dash, but his Omega Strike move is also great for movement, which we'll get to later. He also takes 10% less damage on average, he has fantastic range on his normals and specials, his coils can stuff fireballs and be used to smack unprotected assists, and whenever he lands a coil, he can drain the enemy's health bar or meter to regenerate his own. Some of Omega Red's cons are that his supers are lacking, as they're nearly impossible to combo into and they're not great in general, so he's not going to be using lots of meter. His coils aren't super large and they're a bit slow, so while they do hit full screen, they're not going to hit very quickly. His assists also aren't amazing, as while they don't flat out suck, they are highly situational and specific. Omega Red is also very bad at dealing chip damage, so he needs a character on his team that can help him chip. Finally, he lacks invincibility and supers that can reliably punish enemies for reckless offense, and if a character can rush down very quickly, they can eat Omega Red alive. Out of Omega Red's 3 assists, I recommend his throw type. This is a full screen command grab that when it connects, it shakes the enemy around and throws them upwards. Anti-air type is an anti-air that hits at an upwards angle, so it can be used to hit enemies who like to jump at you. Ground type is a short range attack that hits from the ground, but it does very low damage and can very easily be avoided, so overall go with throw type. Standing Light Punch is a very fast poke with great range and it chains into Standing Medium Punch, so use this move to start combos. Standing Medium Punch is a launcher, and you want to use it after the previous move. It's hard to punish on block, so use this move as a standard punish if your opponent whiffs a big move. Standing Heavy Punch has long range and is safe, so if you want to end a block string without being punished, use this to push the enemy away. This move is slow however, so keep that in mind. Standing Light Kick is just Light Punch, but it's pretty much worse in every way, so use that move instead, don't use this one. Standing Medium Kick is an upwards hitting move, and while it has decent range and good speed, it's useless due to his grounded combos being bad, so use Medium Punch for a launch instead. Standing Heavy Kick does good damage and has nice range, but it's not super useful due to it coming out slower than Heavy Punch, and because it has very mediocre recovery. Crouching Light Punch is essentially the same as Standing Light Punch, but it's done when crouching. This move is fast and has good range, so you can use it to start combos. Crouching Medium Punch isn't very good. While it can be used in some specific ground combos, there's really nothing good about it overall, so just use Standing Medium Punch instead. Crouching Heavy Punch is a forward hitting move that can hit up to 3 times. It has great range and priority, but it has lackluster recovery. Crouching Light Kick is good in the sense that it's one of the few lows that Omega Red has. It also hits OTG, but in general it's slow, so just use Crouching Light Punch instead. Crouching Medium Kick is pretty bad as it doesn't really lead to anything good, so you never want to use this move. Crouching Heavy Kick has great range, and it's one of the most important moves that Omega Red has in his arsenal. Down back Heavy Kick makes the coils be in front of you, down and Heavy Kick makes the coil go half screen, and down forward Heavy Kick sends them full screen. This move is very important for controlling space, and it also destroys single hitting projectiles, so use this move often to snipe enemies out from long ranges while remaining safe. Jumping Light Punch is a fast, close range move. It's stubby, but you can use it in combos and to interrupt the enemy's attacks. Jumping Medium Punch is a fantastic combo tool due to it hitting upwards and making follow-ups consistent. Jumping Heavy Punch is a safe jump-in attack, and it's also good to end combos with due to the multi-hitting nature of the move. It also has very high priority. Jumping Light Kick is nearly identical to Omega Red's jab, and it's alright to use in air combos, but overall it's not that special. Jumping Medium Kick is the same as a standing jab, and it's not that great, so you want to avoid using this move. Jumping Heavy Kick does nice damage, but it's a bit slow and it hits at a very specific range, so overall just use Air Heavy Punch instead. Carbonadium Coil is performed with a variety of inputs, and we'll go over them now. Quarter Circle Forward and Light Punch sends it forward, Heavy Punch sends it upwards at an angle, both punches send it directly upwards, Quarter circle forward and either light punch or light kick in the air does the air forward version. Quarter circle forward and heavy punch in the air sends it upwards, which is good to use for catching super jumps. Quarter circle forward and both punches in the air is another directly upwards one. Quarter circle forward and heavy kick in the air sends it down forwards, and this is arguably the best one as its angle is insane and it cleanly beats fireballs. Finally, quarter circle forward and both kicks in the air sends it straight down. The most important ones are the grounded light punch and grounded heavy punch, air light punch, air heavy punch, and air heavy kick. The others are mainly used for gimmicks and very specific setups, so these won't be used very often. If any of these hit, you can press punch to drain their life bar and regenerate some of your own red health, and pressing kick on hit drains a bit of their meter. If you press any direction and a punch on hit, you can throw them around, but you should attempt to drain them first before doing this, because you can do both. If you hold a direction and press punch very fast, you can do a second one, but this move is inconsistent and not recommended. It's better to drain the opponent and then do a single throw. If you press the punch button while throwing out a coil, you can retract it and go back to neutral. This means you can try to loop this process to quickly build meter. Coils are arguably the most important part of Omega Red's game plan, so use them a lot in the air and when grounded. Omega Strike is performed with quarter circle forward and a kick. Light sends you forward, heavy sends you up forward, and both kicks send you directly upwards. You can also retract these by pressing a down direction and kick button. This move is very fast, has great priority, and can cover all angles, so use it often. Because of the cancelable nature of this move, you can use it to not only attack your opponent directly, but also to pressure them. Going up close and then retreating it over and over can mess with the enemy and make them unsure of when to attack, so Omega Red is great at using this move to dominate. Omega Destroyer is performed with quarter circle back and both punches. It cannot be comboed into solo due to its horrible startup, but it does have really good priority and range. This move can be used to blow through the enemy's attacks, be it a projectile or a physical hit, so use it to stuff them from a distance and to make them scared to approach. It's also a pretty good DHC tool, as on block it pushes Omega Red full screen to safety. Carbonadium Crusher is performed with quarter circle back and both punches in the air, and this is a hit grab version of Akuma's Raging Demon. The startup is his forward dash animation, and if it connects, he goes into a flurry of attacks for pretty nice damage. However, this move cannot be comboed into, so throw this every now and then, just to surprise the enemy and to make sure they're paying attention. The most basic Omega Red combo is the Magic series, but here are some other combos for you to do. Omega Red isn't really a combo-centric character, he's more about poking you in neutral, so while these combos are limited, there are some little ones you can do. The best partners for Omega Red are characters who can help him stay out and apply pressure with coils, like Magneto, Doctor Doom, Sentinel, Cable, Storm, Cyclops, and people even like to use characters like Juggernaut and Tron for big damage combos. If you like to play a defensive playstyle, go with characters who have a projectile or DP assist to get the enemy away, and if you like to be offensive, go with characters who have assists that can lock the enemy down and allow you to use your long, disjointed normals to smother them. That's all I've got for Omega Red. Overall, Omega Red is a solid character who is fantastic at fighting from a distance due to his long-range normals and specials that can be cancelled at any point. If you love pressuring the enemy and not allowing them to get close, go with Omega Red. Thanks for watching, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.